Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at ETH again. We moved down nicely into the support box range that we had in the previous video. If you'd like more information on that, or if you just search through the Crypto Rosetta channel for the last ETH video, you'll find it there. But basically from here we have a couple of options that we're going to be investigating. But before we jump into that, I'd like to say thank you for watching the video. If you'd like to show your support, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already, and turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video that we put out. Okay, so let's jump into the price action here. Effectively, what we were looking at is a couple of options. We have this potential breakout, which we're still tracking. We were looking at this teal wave 2 potentially finishing here, but now we would have to move this down if this is still playing out. So effectively what we'd be looking at now is this move to the upside as potentially being within this wave 3, looking to target out. The zone has actually changed now, so I just want to change this quickly. What we'd be looking for is down from this low point up into this high point and then down into this low point. So effectively actually this changes the structure slightly. So this wave 3 would actually look to move typically much lower. This wave 4 would look to target out this zone down here, and then effectively this wave 5 would actually look to target out lower as well. Typically this wave 5 would then look to be targeting out this zone here, provided that there is no extension. Sometimes these waves can extend and we'll actually push higher than we anticipated, and we'll have to keep an eye on the structure, but basically what we could be looking at is actually something more like this. And if I delete this box area because that's no longer valid, effectively what we could be looking at is this teal 5 wave move playing out. And if that does play out, we wouldn't reach this typical third wave zone up here. So we'd have to actually treat this as a corrective structure if it does play out. And what that would be is just an ABC to the upside, which would be a corrective move. And that would be an A, a B, and actually a C wave to the upside if that does continue to play out and we manage to continue holding this 1182 zone. So that is what we are looking at here. Moving past this 1326 would actually lead us to believe that we are within this white wave 3. And effectively we would have an additional fourth and fifth wave, which would actually look to push us up past the point of this 1352, and actually the one-to-one target would be this 1394. So that's where we are with the macro things we're sort of looking at. So within this move here, though, we can see that we've come back into this box zone, and basically I'm just going to remove some of this just so it's a bit neater. So when we're looking at this single move, we can have a look at it, because the ABC option effectively is something like this. Actually, it's slightly different. So it's this green wave here rather. I was also tracking this potentially as we have a incompleted B, and what we have formed is actually this is an A wave, and then we're looking for that B wave and a C wave to the upside. So they're slightly different in how they would work. This one would actually be looking for that 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And alternatively, this one would be looking at, this is a ABC completed into this high point here, so a 3-wave move, and then we'd be looking at this as a potential 3-wave move in the reverse direction, so a 3, 3, and then looking for a 5-wave or a 3-wave move to the upside, depending on what structure it forms. So if it's a 5-wave move, now what we'd be looking for is off these lows. So basically within this move would probably not reach impulse of the previous move here. So we'd be looking at this to actually develop up into these highs. So the one-to-one would be the 1271 and then look for rejection. Whereas this one would look to have that additional fourth and fifth wave to the upside and look to target higher up here at the one-to-one being this 1306 zone. So we just need to bear in mind there's a few options available, and these are what we're tracking. If we go into this app, like the micro moves from this low point here, I'm going to remove all this stuff here for the time being. So we can look at this move in two ways. We can look at the C wave as ending here, or we could look at it ending within this zone here. So it is a bit choppy within the smaller time frame, so it is a little bit hard to tell. Basically, what we'd be looking for here is whether we get an additional wave. which would sort of indicate whether we actually we end here or we end here. So I'm going to start with this move to the upside here. So if we come down slightly lower into the 30-minute here, we can see that we've had this move up here. And it's possible that this is a completed 5-wave move into this high point here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into there. And then we're looking for this as like a B-wave retracement. So if this is the case, what we'd actually have here is that this has already come down to this 382 zone, but it hasn't quite come down to the typical zone we'd be looking for. And that typical zone would be this this 0.5 region at 1210 all the way down to sort of this 1201 zone. This would be a typical B-wave retracement, and it is possible that we can look to come down further here, but we also need to bear in mind it depends on what structure this wave takes. If this is actually going to be a flat correction, maybe this 382 zone is already the completed move and we look to push up here. So if that is what we're looking at, if we are looking at a completed move at this low here of 1211, what we could have actually is that we have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into this high point. This would be a truncated fifth, which I don't really like, but it is possible still, so we just need to bear that in mind. And then what we'd have is an A, a B, and a C to the downside. So if I just change the degree on this, let's put it, there we go. What this could then be setting up for is a bigger 5-wave move to the upside, and what we would want for confirmation of this. So there's two things that can happen here. Either this ABC is completed, or we look to continue to the downside again, and we look potentially for rejection at this at a maximum of this sort of 1221 zone, and we look for something like this where we form an A, a B, and then we push up for a C wave, and then we look to continue to the downside. If that does play out, what we'd be looking for, like I said, actually let me measure this A wave so far, but I think it would actually push us up quite high. So 1-to-1, this A wave would take us up to this 1220 zone, and then effectively if we are still looking for further continuation to the downside, we can see that maybe from this zone we look for a move down to this 1208 region. So it is possible, like I said, that this is actually still in a bigger corrective pattern where we see a move up to this zone here and then we break down below this area here. However, a move past this high point here at 1224 would indicate that this is actually a completed move and we're looking for that progression to the upside. Though should we not be able to break this 1224, it's possible that, like I said, we have an A, we make this as a corrective move to the upside, the C wave can come up. It might retest some of these high points or potentially fall short, but the 1-to-1 was that 1220 zone. So it's possible that we have that A, B, and then we look for that C wave down here back into this green box zone. And then effectively from that point, provided, so all of these moves that we're talking about here, if I just drop these 2 points on here, they are reliant on staying above these red lines indicated here, this 1195 and this 1193. Moving back down below that would actually make me think that we are looking for a deeper retracement back here, or we are starting to break down and actually we've already completed our move. So if I go back onto the hourly here, so we can look at this as potentially completed here, but there is also that potential for dropping down one more time. If we were to have completed here and we weren't having this additional leg to the downside, what we would be looking for confirmation that we are within a 5-wave move here would be a move back up past this zone here of this 1261 area. So this 1261, basically what that would then do if we did move up to that, we'd have to treat this as a wave 1, this is a wave 2, all of that would be a wave 3, we'd come drop down for a wave 4 and a wave 5 to the upside. So this would technically take us up towards this zone here, between this 1266 to this 1274 as a typical area we could look to target. If this is the case, effectively what we'd have is a 5-wave move here. So this 5-wave move could potentially be the completion of this green C wave, and we have actually completed this this yellow C wave into this low rather, if I can grab hold of it. 1 second here. So the C wave could, like I said earlier, could end here, but potentially we could also have an additional extension within this. And if that's the case, what we would actually have then is this is a wave 1, 2. All of this would become wave 3. We'd look for that fourth wave retracement, and then we'd look to push up a little bit higher. If that does play out, what we would be looking at is a potential for targeting out. If I just throw this other fib on here and we reverse this to the upside, off that 3-1, there we go. So this could look for that potential for a little bit more of a move up towards this 1286 zone and this 1274 area. Like I said, that one-to-one of this C wave is still possible as a corrective wave, and we would just need to bear in mind we are looking at two options here. That we're either going to get a bigger extension to the upside, or we are going to look to form that wave 2 and then look to break down in a 5-wave move. So currently this is just looking that this is an ABC move, but like we said previously, if we did move up past that zone, if I just drop this back in here, this zone of this 1318 area, we'd have to look at this whole thing as a bigger 5-wave move, looking for that C wave target. If we do continue to play out like this, we wouldn't want to be breaking down back below this this 1195, this 1193, and finally this 1182 zone. Moving back down below this would actually have to make us look at this as a, like I said, this all is an A wave into this high rather than into this high, and we would have to be looking for that C wave to come into play after that point. So I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, or if you have any questions, please just drop them in the comment section down below. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please smash that subscribe button, hit that like button if you haven't already. And in the description, you'll also find a link to our Discord. It's free to join. Why not come in there into the general chat area? Just add mention a member of staff, and we'll be happy to help you out with anything. Also in the description below, there's an affiliate link to BYBIT. This is a great exchange to use. It's the one that we use when we do our trading, whether that's spot trading or leverage trading. It really is great. It has great features that help you with your risk management, and yeah, just a great all-around platform. Okay, so with all that said and done, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and we will see you in the next video. Take care out there, everybody.